sweet peas. Check this out. Detecting electromagnetic transmissions and biotronics evoked potentials. This right here is a list of all the different types of evoked potentials the human body has. Visual evoked potentials, spinal cord evoked potentials, okay? Auditory evoked potentials, okay? Transcranial motor evoked potentials. Those are the motor cortex associated evoked potentials. Let's see. Now you can go evoke potential tests for MS, testing nerve response results. Evoke potential markers for anesthetic and behavioral. All you got to do is, I discovered this. The best way to these right here. Eventually, I'm going to have to make a PDF link out of this printed out paper and attach it to a blog. Look in the comments feature of this YouTube video. I made a 27-minute long video concerning why I'm exposing the factualities of organized stalking, which is also called gang stalking. Now, if you're a parent and you're hearing this, excuse me, look at this right here. www.biotronic.com, modalities, biotronic.com/modalities/ssep.html. Talks about somosensory evoked potentials. Somosensories are directly mentioned in the remote neural monitoring file that you can find at the bottom of Freedom from Covert Harassment and Surveillance, along with the audio cortex that's mentioned in the remote neural monitoring file. Yes. And the visual cortex that's also mentioned in the remote neural monitoring file. And evoked potentials are also listed in the same file. Make sure you please look in the description of this YouTube video for a YouTube title that you can copy and paste at YouTube, and then look at the YouTube video that is dedicated to the title. It's a 27-minute video. You know, my name is Leslie Williams, and let me tell you, I'm a target of what is known as gang stalking, which is also called organized stalking. I am not involved in any illegal activity whatsoever. I came back to San Diego, California on August 8th, 2011, one day late in reference to the scheduled arrival date that was on my Greyhound ticket. I was supposed to arrive on August 7th, but due to terminal layovers and delays on Route 2 here from Connecticut, I arrived one day late in reference to the date I was supposed to arrive, which was August 7th. So I got here on August 8th, 2011 for the first time. I got here on August 8, 2011 in San Diego. I came to San Diego on August 8, 2011 for the first time since 2006. Okay? When I was out here in 2006, I was out here between 1 and 37 days, and I was gang stalked on a feverish scale. I didn't know what was happening to me and around me concerning me was gang stalking back then. But I did make some email files concerning what I was experiencing in 2006. Now, listen to this. In one of those emails, it states, pay attention. I was contacting a Wayne County prosecutor and Amnesty International from the Point Loma Library. And in one of those emails, I stated flat out, I go, check out what's happening at the Point Loma Library. You never know what you might hear, especially after I go into the bathroom. Yes. Now, recently, on March 6th, 2013, I caught a San Diego, North University, San Diego Public Library branch manager engaging in gang stalking towards me. And I have right now online at least 50 to 60 videos of 50 or 60 videos, and those 50 or 60 videos are dedicated from around 30 to 50 audio files. And I have over 400 audio files of gang stalking being said around me along every single route, whether it be a bus route, trolley route, bicycle route, any business, and any library, and any university campus, where it is constantly and repeatedly said around me, even after I predicted that morning on video that I'll hear it once I get to these places. Yes, I'll make a video prediction file which shows my cell phone, which shows the date and time. And I wear a digital tape recorder attached to my undergarments on my chest with the microphone extended up, which means that it's right below, the microphone's right below the neck collar. And I state in the video prediction, which shows my cell phone, which shows the date and time, in that video prediction, I'll state, hang on a second. In that video prediction, which shows my cell phone, which shows the date and the time of the date, okay? I'll make a prediction. I'll say where I'm going for the day and the transportation routes getting there. And I'll state, let's see if I hear gang stalking, oh my god, gang stalking, gang stalker, gang stalking, oh my god, said around me, or crazy or weird, said around me once I get to these places. I am wearing a digital tape recorder which shows the date and the time, especially the time, because the time, once an audio file is started, like I'm pressing the record button right now. You see that red light that just came on? Okay? Once this audio file starts recording, it isolates the time that the recording started. Then if the audio file, say if the audio file started recording at 2 o'clock, and the audio file is 45 minutes long, the audio file will show that it's a 45-minute audio file started at 2 o'clock. If I made a video at 9 o'clock that same morning stating I'll hear gang stalking along my routes, and then when the recording button starts at 2 o'clock and gang stalking is being said around me at the place I'm at, it automatically shows I was tracked and stalked to this place in order for the direct conversation method to be utilized towards me at that place I went to, which means that they had to know I was going there, which means that they had to know my transportation routes to go there. Yes, which means they had to know that I was going to be getting on that original transportation route, which means they had to know where I was to begin with. In order to track me to the bus stop, to track me to see what bus route I was getting on, in order for it to be set on the bus route even, in order for it to be set on in cafes that I've never been to before or been there since. Like I went to a cafe on November 17th, 2012, for the first time in my entire life. I took bus route 30 to get to the neighborhood that that cafe was in, because I was going to a library that I had never been to before. And, well, actually I had been to it one time before, which was the day before, on November 16th. Stay with me. I took bus route 30 to get to that neighborhood because the library was right up the street. The day before, I went to that library that was in the same neighborhood for the first time. Okay? Excuse me, please. As a result of being on bus route 30 on November 16th to go to that library, I noticed a cafe. So I thought to myself, I'm going to go to that cafe because it looks like, you know, those old cafes back from the 50s where you could go in and get a milkshake. So I thought to myself, I'm going to go into that cafe. I might have asked somebody, I might have mentioned it to somebody on the bus, I don't remember. But listen to this. That occurred in reference to me going into that neighborhood for the very first time in my entire life. For the first time on November 16th, 2013. I went to a library in that neighborhood. Then the next day, I took the same bus route to go to the same neighborhood. But yet on that day, which was the November 17th, I got off at the bus stop that was right across the street from the cafe. But listen to this. While I was on the bus on November 17, 2013, I made a statement, discreetly and privately, by covering over my mouth and bending my head down because the microphone is extended right below the neck collar. So I bent my head down and covered up my mouth, and I said, while I was on the bus route 30, I said, let's see if I hear gang stalking being said around me on this bus. I said it discreetly and privately. And this is a sensitive microphone, which means you can just about whisper and it'll pick it up. So no one heard me say that when I was literally still on the bus. I said, let's see if I hear gang stalking on this bus. I'm on bus route 30. And I pretty much mentioned, I think I mentioned the date. Then I get off the bus right across the street from the cafe. I get off at the bus stop that's right across the street from the cafe, walk across the street, light up a cigarette while I'm locking up my bike in front of the cafe. And I probably even made a statement, let's see if I hear gang stalking in this cafe. I haven't listened to that section of it yet. Because what I'm trying to say is I always make, if I get off a bus or go anywhere, once I leave one environment and go to another one, before I enter the new environment, I'll say, let's see if I hear gang stalking in here. I not only make video predictions before I leave for the day, but I also make statements before I enter a place that I might hear it as well. So I locked up my bike and was smoking a cigarette. First time I'd ever been to this cafe in my first and only time I'd ever been to this cafe on November 17, 2013. I go in there to have a cup of coffee and look at the menu to see if the prices for breakfast aren't too bad, expensive-wise. And while I'm in there, gang stalking is constantly repeated around me by people who are already in there and their employees. How did they know that I was going into this cafe to place these people in it before I even got there and people that were coming in as well after I got there to say it as well. Yes, they're called direct conversation methods of organized gang stalking expeditions, and those videos are already online in reference to the audio. Now, let's look at this. I was on the bus, and I made a statement in my digital tape recorder. Let's see if I hear gang stalking on this bus. I get off the bus, walk across the street to a cafe that was directly across the street from the bus stop I got off at, locked up my bike, had a cigarette, went into the cafe, and caught gang stalking being said around me by people who were already in there, and their employees, and people that came in after I went in. I predicted I'd hear it on the bus. I get off the bus, go into a cafe, and it's said around me in the cafe. A cafe I'd never been into before. Now, let's look at that. Right now online, all you got to do is go to YouTube and type in "Learning Disabled Woman Exposes Direct Conversation Methods," or exposes gang stalking is happening. And look at how many YouTube videos are online right now, just concerning me predicting gang stalking is going to be said around me. It happened on the very same day on 7/13/2012. I went to a Walmart at Stone Cross Plaza. And as I was walking into the Walmart, because I went there to buy a new digital tape recorder because the one I was using was running out of memory, I stated, I'm going into Walmart's right now in my digital tape recorder as I was walking in. I said, let's see if I hear gang stalking in this Walmart. It was caught. But check this out. I left the Walmart. Now, the audio file that I made that statement into showed the date and the time, 8:52 a.m. in the morning. I left there and went and took 928 bus to Fashion Valley, took the Green Line trolley all the way to SDSU on the same date, okay, and then went to SDSU, locked up my bike, walked into one of their stores and asked them where the nearest bathroom was, because I wasn't going to go all the way to the Love Library and go through all that to go to the bathroom. I just thought, I'll ask the store clerk if there's a closer bathroom. So I said, where's the nearest bathroom? He said, the food court. I go into the food court, go to the bathroom, and come out, and somebody yells gang stalking right out in the open, and then it's mentioned several times afterwards. All of it caught an audio file on the same date. Two separate places. The prediction was made at Walmart, it was caught at Walmart, and in the McDonald's at Walmart. Then it was caught at SDSU on the same date later on in the day, which means they had me stalked from the Walmart. They had to have me stalked to the Walmart in order to place the people in Walmart to say it. Then they stalked me from the Walmart to SDSU to get the students to say it. And I literally asked the student after gang stalking was yelled out in the open. It was literally yelled out in the open, okay? After I even predicted it once I first arrived on SDSU, before I even went to the bathroom. Then I asked the SDSU student what's the name of this university, and he flat out stated it right on the same audio file, which proved I was being gang stalked on SDSU campus. Yes, which shows that SDSU was involved in the tracking, the stalking, the organized, the fashioning of the organized harassment by getting around me and having students get around me and repeat these words and phrases. They're called direct conversation methods, which shows tracking, stalking, conspiracy to harass, and all of these are felonies. And since gang stalking is directly connected to human trafficking, do you honestly believe that SDSU wants the truth to be known? That's why they staged the arrest of me on February 1st, 2013. Please look in the description of this YouTube video for a YouTube title that you can copy and paste into YouTube in order for you to be able to get up to look at a 27-minute video that is undeniable concerning who I am in part and what is happening around me and why it's happening around me. This crime is not just about me. Now, we're going to see what also happens towards me, concerning me, about me, or against me in reference to any incident that happens concerning me, about me, towards me, around me, or against me that either causes me to be banned from a business, a store, a library, any library, okay? Or if any arrest or banning happens towards me at any store, any type of business, or any library, whether it be, well, it's got to be, I'm not going to any university libraries right now because of the gang stalking that has occurred towards me under campuses and because of the falsified arrest that happened at SDSU on February 1st. So right now I'm dedicated to going to public libraries and a specific other type of library. And that code word to describe that library is called L Library. I'm using a code for it right now until an incident happens. And they're already starting to harass me there, using security staff and people coming in acting as patrons to have me harassed in the same exact way I was harassed at every university. And it's already been undeniably proved that this crime is happening to me at businesses and at libraries. Undeniably. And I brought up at the beginning of this video concerning how I made an email, okay, in 2006 concerning the Point Loma Library and how I was hearing things yes, being said around me concerning me at these libraries. Okay? Now, that's saved in a 2006 email. On March 6, 2013, I caught a North University San Diego Public Library branch manager saying the same tactic, repeating gang stalking around me. After I walked out of the computer lab, which is a separate room from where his desk was. And as I was getting up my belongings that were attached to the computer in the computer lab, I looked up because there's a big glass that's part of the wall that divides the computer lab from the rest of the library, which included his desk. Okay? As I was detaching the USB cable from the computer that I was on in the computer room, which is a separate room from the rest of the library, I looked up, and through the glass, I seen that branch manager and another library employee engaging in organized gang stalking physical gestures, sensitization methods. So I made a statement in my digital tape recorder, I'm being gaslighted right now by the branch manager. I then walk out of the room, and as I walk by him, he says gang stalking. That caught on audio file. Now, if you go to Google and type in gang stalking and gaslighting, you'll see that gaslighting is a term that describes sensitization methods of gang stalking, which include direct conversation methods. Direct conversation methods and anchored physical gestures are gaslighting techniques that are part of sensitization methods. Okay? So I'm in a separate room and I state that I'm being gaslighted by the branch library manager. I walk out of the room, and as I walk by him, he says gang stalking, which is direct conversation method of sensitization tactics. So I was already describing that he was engaging in gang stalking. I then walk out of the room and walk by him, and he says gang stalking. And in 2006, I made an email stating you never know what you might hear around the Point Loma Library. And every other thing that I was describing in that library, in those emails, are gang stalking tactics. But I don't mention gang stalking because I didn't know what was happening to me back then was gang stalking. But what I was describing are gang stalking tactics. So they've been caught, and they know they've been caught. And that video's online right now concerning the audio file of that branch manager saying gang stalking after I left the computer room. And in the computer room, I said I'm being gaslighted by the branch manager. I left that room, walked by him, and he said gang stalking. So that connected him to the statement that I made in the separate room. Yes, undeniable proof. And I can't get no help. So let's see what happens to me in reference to any event that transpires towards me in any business, any public library, North University San Diego Public Library, the L Library, any other library I go into in San Diego County, or any business. Okay, let's see what happens. Because what they're going to try and do is try and make it appear that I'm causing problems anywhere or everywhere I go. So they can discredit me because I'm telling the truth. They're protecting their asses by staging events and bannings and arrests around me, including even my transportation routes, in order to discredit me on paper, to eventually bring me before a syndicated judge in San Diego County, to either put me in an institution or a jail, in order to discredit me, to discredit the truth I'm telling. It's organized crime in the system. Please look in the description of this YouTube video for a YouTube title that you can copy and paste into YouTube, and you'll see what I'm exposing. Thank you.